Welcome to Secrets from the Saddle podcast. I'm Sylvie D'Aoust, your host, fellow cyclist, bike club founder, cycling coach, bike race junkie, just truly super passionate about cycling. My journey with cycling started 20 years ago when I opened a spin studio, started a women's race team, and founded a women's only cycling club called Cycle Fit Chicks. I'm super thrilled to reveal all aspects that make the world of cycling operate. I'm so excited to be able to bring you interesting people from around the world, pro cyclists, recreational cyclists, coaches, event organizers, bike shop owners, everything and everyone you need to know or ever wondered about when it comes to cycling. I know you'll enjoy this episode. All right, friends, welcome back to another episode of Secrets from the Saddle, All Things Cycling Podcast with your host, Sylvie D'Aoust, and it's Coach's Corner. On Friday, we're going to talk about winter training and how to get set up on ZWIFT. Some of the 5 steps that you probably want to think about to getting set up and getting into your training regime. Maybe we'll add a 6th. Yeah, we'll see. Now, before we get into it, have some amazing episodes coming up. One with Jonathan Allen from All Day Magazine. It's an online magazine that he started a couple of years ago, and he does product reviews, and he's a great guy. We totally met. We cycled and raced together, and hopefully going to collab together. Now, so that's on Monday. And don't forget, I welcome you and for you to go visit buymeacoffee.com/Secret Saddle Pod. I've got some downloads there. It's also a place where you can support the podcast because it costs money to put this together. And it's always nice to get your support over there. And reviews are amazing as well. And going to check out our YouTube channel. I know we got a lot of things to think about. However, now that we're going to get into the fall, you might be already thinking about, how are you going to continue your cycling fitness over the winter? And maybe you're the only one of your friends who hasn't gone to bike trainer, or maybe you have a bike trainer and you trained last winter, but you kind of came out maybe not as fit as you thought you might be. Maybe you were fitter. Maybe you developed some bad habits from cycling inside. Yeah. Let's talk about the bad habits you can develop. So first of all, it can be total posture on your bike because, as you're sitting inside, there's nothing to think about like the elements, the road, you're slumped over your saddle, your handlebars, you're getting a sore back. That's one of them. It's bad posture. The other big one is pedal stroke efficiency and speed. How many times you just sit there in a mode and you're just watching some movie and you're going about 60 RPM, like super slow. And you're wondering why you're not getting faster. Well, my friends, speed is all about cadence speed. And if you want to go faster, you got to pump those pedals harder, my friend. So getting on your trainer online can develop some bad habits. The big one is pedal stroke efficiency. I was trying to think, I did an episode last year about that and I was looking through it, but if you go to my Friday episodes, all of them are on cycling, coaching tips of some sort. But really, here's one thing you can do. You can go look up the book called Ride Inside by Joe Friel and Jim Rutberg. And they talk about bad habits in there. And I know I've talked about it. And I actually interviewed Jim and John and Joe about their book. So you can go back and search Jim or Joe Friel and Jim Rutberg and we talked about his book, Ride Inside. And that honestly is one of the books that I picked up when I started 2 years ago, um, getting on my trainer inside. It was one of the books that really sold me on it because I know that I've trained before inside. And if you're not into a structure, some sort of training regime, then you can overdo it, underdo it, get worse, maybe get better. But those are some of the things to think about. So here's the first one is getting started, getting your setup together. So we're already starting to talk about in our cycling program. So I'm putting together a 20-week. So it's basically from November to April. We're guaranteeing that you're going to be able to cycle 100 kilometers by the time we finish. And we're going to set up going to an event by the time we finish. And but what that program is all about is skills and technique, a good part of it. So check that out. So, going inside, you want to have a plan. So your setup, what kind of trainer are you going to get? So we're talking a lot about just going straight to direct single drive or direct drive bike trainers, avoiding getting with the wheel on trainers. But if you have one, I mean, that's how I started for the first year. And then you kind of see the light and then you upgrade. So I'm telling you, that's how it worked for me. I didn't have the money, right? Didn't have this $1,200 to spend on a trainer. So what I did spend on is I got a set of power pedals so that I could go on Zwift on my trainer and on my rollers. And that was a great investment because you can use those power pedals year round. So you're not just um, training on power while you're inside, so you can continue your training outside when you have the pedals. So they were an amazing investment. They're the Asiamo power pedals from Italy. I hear they're way better than Garmin. So if you're stuck with a trainer, a wheel on trainer, that doesn't have power, look at spending the money for those because they are invaluable to have a power on your bike 365 days a year, anytime you're cycling. So your setup, of course, is going to entail finding a space, getting your TV, getting your laptop, iPad, phone, everything ready because it's not a cheap installment, my friends. And the other thing you want to think about is also getting if you're going to go on Zwift, get your account, make sure that you have a comfortable area. So these are all the things that I'm helping my new clients get ready and get started on the right page so that when we go full on into Zwift, everybody is good to go. So number one is the setup. Number two, I highly recommend going and doing an FTP test. And within Zwift, it's a functional threshold power test. So it tests how strong you are on your bike. And if you go to the training plans in Zwift, they have a couple FTP tests that you can pick from. And then, so when you come back to do more training, it'll set you up properly based on your FTP test, based on how much power you can output so you can train functionally, right? Instead of like just going in there and doing whatever. I highly recommend that you don't do that. Like you have some sort of plan. Number three, talking about planning, set your goals. what do you want to train for next year? It's better to go in having a plan so that you know kind of how you want to set your training up. So if your goal is to say doing, a 150-kilometer race, gravel race in the spring or late spring, mid or early summer, then that's what you're going to be looking at. You're going to look at the terrain, you're going to look at the distance, you're going to need to put time on the saddle, you're going to need to become faster on the hills, pedal stroke efficiency, and then getting the time in. So, setting goals. Then, number 4 is setting and training schedule. How often are you going to train that's realistic for your life? Right. So our program, my winter online program, we are working on a base of 4 hours a week. So that's 3 times on the bike. And it also includes strength training, which is 3 times, and yoga, which is twice. So it's purely cycling, not triathloning, like cycling. And you can up that to 6. And for the average person who has a life and family and kids and job, that is enough to get everything in. The other part is, what are you going to do on those times to make it worth it and to make sure that you are actually progressing forward with your training? So structure. So within our 16-week program, we have 1 night of cycling skills and technique, which is so important. So you're going to use what you learn, and I'm going to drill it into you, because that's one of the great feedbacks I get, because it's over and over, consistent practice with drills and learning and getting better and faster. And a lot of it, a lot of the pros, what I do is they take that season to go back to basics, to those skills, warm-ups, drills, exercises, things like that. And strength training, 100%. If you're not flexible, start getting in the yoga, because my friends, these 2 things are going to propel you forward in your cycling fitness. Okay, so that's why my program adds these on, and so you don't have to guess. Like, I'm a cyclist putting together cycling programs and strength training. You better bet it's going to benefit you. And my girlfriend who does the yoga, she's a huge mountain biker. She knows like what to do and what to stretch for like long endurance rides after races, things like that. She's amazing. Upper body, back, things like that. So setting up, so you look at your schedule and go, okay, when can I fit this training in? So if you're going to join me, we are Thursday nights, Thursday nights is our skills and development. Saturday mornings, group ride, like usual. Tuesday night is either race or intervals. So you get those 3, and you got recovery days in between each one of them, which is another important factor in the whole grand scheme of things. Now, number 5, I did this year. Join ZWIFT Academy. It is so cool because a lot of their cues are based on pedal stroke and pedal stroke efficiency, recovery, breathing, all these things. And I love seeing them come up, because that's exactly what I talk about with my clients. So ZWIFT Academy is like 4 weeks. It's 1 training session a week to 2 if you want to be serious. And it gets you back into like ZWIFT, or into the mindset of training. So I joined it. I am just started last week, and it's good. It's good because right now I'm like kind of like, it's kind of like an off season, not cycling a whole lot, finished the race season, and now it's just about taking some time, rest, but staying like fit, and just staying on the trainer. So there you have like 5 tips to getting started. So you have your setup, your FTP test, your goals, your schedule your training in, and be very intentional. Don't get wrapped up in all the FOMO of what everybody else is doing, because everybody else is not training for something specific like you. I know it'd be amazing to join all your friends' group rides and, pretend you're riding together, maybe get on Discord. Um, but at the end of the day, they have their goals, and more likely they're training for their goals and they're just bringing you along for the ride. And then you're getting out of sync of your goals. So be very aware of that. And then, joining Swift Academy and learning a couple things. So there you have it. I hope that helps putting things into perspective. I'd love for you to join and check out my subscription membership for the 20 weeks. It's a monthly subscription. It's super cheap, like super cheap. If you're to take a personal training or even a personal trainer or a cycling coach, can be $100 to $250 a month for a cycling coach to teach you what I'm doing in this program. And the nice thing is that when we all meet, it's over Zoom, and I can easily offer up some feedback on your form and technique. So, well, definitely your technique. And I can see you on your bike, so I can suggest different things, which is another thing. And we're going to have lots of specials. And remember, the strength training yoga is an add-on, but it's still so reasonable. And then you're done in April. So with that, have an amazing day. I recommend, I'll put the link in the bio. You can go to sylviedaoust.ca. You'll see it there, but I'm going to put a direct link into the description so that you can go directly, check it out, sign up. The first month is half price. So use the code October for 50% off the first month. All right, and let's get to it and have a rockin' winter. I'm so excited about training this year. If you're excited coming off the summer because you've had a good summer and things worked out well, even if they didn't, this is a great opportunity for you to come in and go, okay, what can I do differently this year that I didn't or did too much of last year to be better for this spring? And, I love, like, a lot of people have really big goals. My really big goal, and I'll share this with you guys right now. So this is my race schedule to date. You never know. I had a race schedule this year, and quite a bit of it didn't happen. So but the thing is that I'm putting it out there to all of you. So I'm keeping myself accountable, and I'm training, and I'm bringing you along with me. So Barrie-Roubaix, April. Nothing May. June is Unbound. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to try and go there. And there's also, I'm putting together one of the largest women's teams to cycle the Ride to Conquer Cancer in Toronto. So if you're a woman and you want to join my team or our team, there's a couple of us women collaborating, message me, DM me directly on Instagram, and I will send you the link to join. So we have to fundraise. That's the whole part of it. But it's a super amazing, really, really well organized event. Like, everything's included, like booze and food, and you have to pay for your accommodations, and they have amazing rest stops, and like it is top notch, 5-star corporate charity event. And then some local races just to keep me, um, support local gravel. And then I am hoping to get into Leadville which is a mountain bike race. So I need to get a mountain bike. Logistics. So that is my, and if I can fit in there Reggie ramble, I've got to go back and redeem myself. And then 8 hours Hurton and Halliburton. That's a lot. But this year we're not doing any family travel. We're saving up. Yeah, we're saving up to go to Australia in Christmas. So that's what we're doing. And so that's my tentative plan. So I'm sharing that with you, and I'd love for you to share with me on Instagram what you're up to, or even our YouTube channel descriptions or comments, what your plans are for this next summer. So with that, have an amazing day. Would love it if you went in and wrote a review or give us a 5-star rating, follow the podcast, share the podcast, and just be completely an amazing human. So have yourself an amazing weekend. Enjoy the fall. Love this weather. It's nice and cool. And just be you. We'll see you on the next episode. And don't forget to check out Jonathan All Day Magazine on Monday. It's going to be good. Take care. Bye. Hey friends, thank you for enjoying this podcast episode. I'd love to invite you to visit our new and exciting page on buymeacoffee.com/secret saddle pod to check out some cool downloadables. And if you are so inclined to supporting the podcast with the purchase of a coffee, would be greatly appreciated in helping keep the podcast going. Also, providing a separate rating and review on your favorite platform with any thoughts about the podcast are hugely helpful and appreciated. Thank you so much, and have yourself an amazing day. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on the Secrets from the Saddle podcast, learning more about sighting people, places, and things that make cycling such an exciting sport. I am so glad you stopped by today. Please leave me a review if you feel so moved to do so. I would love to hear your feedback. And if you could take 1 second to share this episode with someone you think would enjoy it, I would be forever grateful. Also, if you could please leave me a review if you feel so moved by going to iTunes and leaving me an honest thought and an honest comment, telling me what you think, and most importantly, tell me what you'd like to hear more of. It would really help me to bring more great, inspiring cycling stories to you. Until then, have an amazing day. Make sure you ride your bike. And don't forget to visit my YouTube channel if you'd like to see the full version of this podcast live.